Hello, and welcome back to Unfuck Your Money. I am your host, financial empowerment coach, and somatic practitioner Nadz. So, who isn't doom spending at the moment? I just bought a mosquito zapper, a baseball cap cleaning kit for my partner, a bunch of joint supplements for our dog Arby, a bunch of secondhand books, and a light fixture for our house. All after promising myself that this month I'll be doing better. So, as I was doing the research for this podcast episode, I came across an article on verywellmind.com on doom spending. And according to this article, the psychologist Christopher Fisher gives us a very good definition on doom spending. Doom spending is the act of compulsively spending money in response to feelings of anxiety, hopelessness, and dread about the future. I have most definitely felt this, especially recently. So earlier this year, I found myself self soothing through retail therapy to kind of try to regulate my fear of uncertainty about my health and my day to day stresses many times. When I was sick earlier this year, I didn't know what the heck was wrong with me, and I was so emotionally overwhelmed. My spending patterns reflected that. They were crazy. I was researching my symptoms since no doctor was giving me any answers, and I was buying any and every gadget that promised any relief. I had packages flying in and out of our doorstep like it was Christmas. And back when I started my business in 2020, I did the exact same thing. I was so overwhelmed by uncertainty that came from the pandemic and from the novelty of starting my business. I spent about $45,000. Yep, $45,000 on marketing programs, on books, and so many other things that I never actually used until this day. And I remember feeling an emotional high followed by buyer's remorse. So, buyer's remorse is the regret or disappointment that you feel after making a purchase, often because that purchase didn't truly scratch that itch. It didn't truly meet your needs. Instead, it felt impulsive and created financial stress. So, from a nervous system's perspective, buyer's remorse isn't just regret, it's your nervous system crashing after a temporary high. When you spend emotionally, your brain gets a dopamine high. Okay, it gets a hit of pleasure, of relief, a sense of power. But because the purchase didn't actually meet your core needs like safety, love, belonging, and we'll get into that later on in this episode, that dopamine hit fades very quickly. Your nervous system, which was already dysregulated, then drops back into survival mode, swinging into a fight response like beating yourself up. Why did I do this again? A flight response, which looks like panicking about bills or about creating more debt for yourself, or a freeze response, which looks like shame and avoidance, and that can look like you not looking at your banking app for a long time. So, buyer's remorse is less about being bad with money and more about your system trying and failing to regulate itself through spending. And this is so exciting. This is why I am now in the middle of creating a new program called Empowered Spender. This program is designed to teach you how to meet your core needs, regulate your nervous system, and avoid the crash of financial anxiety cycle. Okay, so this new program is going to be self paced and it is going to be quite affordable. And I'm very excited about it. I'm going to be dropping the link for the waitlist inside of the show notes. So if you're interested in it, please put your name down so that I can contact you as soon as the program is available. And I am expecting it to be available next month, beginning of October 2025. And also, you are going to get a chance of getting a 50% off of that program. So it's very exciting. So I just said something earlier, the financial anxiety cycle. So what is that? So financial anxiety cycle usually starts with a trigger, something that alerts your nervous system that something's not right. So whether it's a threat, whether the threat or the trigger is something that actually exists in your reality, or just your imagination, just an emotion or a thought, it doesn't really matter to your nervous system. All it knows right now is that it needs to soothe you by any means possible. So here we find ourselves reaching out to the quickest way to soothe our emotions and regain a sense of agency, which often looks like retail shopping, okay, or retail therapy. After the initial dopamine hit, we experience remorse. We just talked about this, which is a deep sense of fear, shame, and guilt because we dug ourselves deeper into the hole. Then we get the sense that we are bad with money, that we cannot be trusted with it, which can reinforce the initial feelings of dysregulation and fear about the future, and it can also trigger low self worth. So we decide then and there that we're going to go on a strict budget. We tighten the reins for a couple of days, which adds to our anxiety, by the way. Top that up with our day to day stresses and the fear of the unknown, thanks to our current economical and political climate, we find ourselves repeating the cycle. If you find yourself laying awake at night, ordering random stuff online, please know that you're not alone. In fact, from a trauma informed perspective, doom spending is a very clever adaptive mechanism, even though it's not the best for your wallet. So, when we're faced with uncertainty, when things feel out of our control, our nervous system goes into fight or flight, and it will latch onto whatever it can to provide you with a sense of relief and a sense of agency. It doesn't care about your wallet, it doesn't care about your budget, it doesn't care about your debt. It's acting from a place of survival. So it seeks the quickest route to safety. This might look like impulsivity or recklessness, but when we view it from a trauma informed lens, like we're doing here in this podcast episode, we can see the wisdom in this action. And even though popular financial advice will tell you to tighten your budget, I'm here to tell you that a budget will only instill a deeper sense or feeling of shame and self blame, which will trigger the financial anxiety cycle I just talked about. So, what we need is to get to the root of this cycle. And what we need is not a budget, what we need is financial healing. I don't think we doom spend because we're bad with money. We doom spend because we're fucking stressed and we're fucking scared. And life feels like it's spiraling out of our control right now. We are also so stressed and so busy and overwhelmed to meet our core needs. And as a trauma informed coach, anytime I get the urge to splurge, the urge to doom spend, I know that it's my nervous system calling for help because it's dysregulated. And after working with hundreds of emotional spenders, what is usually at the core of doom spending or emotional spending is an unmet core need. So for me, when the urge comes up, I know that my body is asking me to meet a core need, even though it looks like I'm reaching for my phone or I'm going shopping. Okay, so even though the impulse is to reach for something that's outside of me, like my phone or shopping, I actually am training myself to take it as an invitation to go inwards instead of reaching outside of me for something to soothe and comfort me. Because here's the thing, no purchase can ever create a lasting sense of safety or agency because those can only be cultivated from within. So when you feel the urge to spend, to splurge, remember that it's not weakness, it's actually wisdom. It's your body and your nervous system communicating with you, asking you for safety. Instead of another checkout click, take this as a cue to turn inside. And here now, I'm going to give you my 4 step-by-step approach for it's really helping me when I get the urge to splurge out of anxiety and stress. So I call this the 4N approach. So the first step is normalize it. When we have the urge to splurge, set your shame and your guilt aside. Set it aside. Set your shame and guilt aside. Say to yourself, it is normal that I want to reach out for something that can soothe my anxiety right now, or soothe my boredom, or soothe my lack of fulfillment, or whatever it is. We'll get to that in a minute. It's okay. But this time, I'm going to choose something different. I'm going to choose inwards. So when we normalize it, it's like taking a step back from it. Instead of merging with that urge, we take a step back from it and just say, there is a part of me that has this urge. And what's actually happening is that it's normal that I want to reach out, but I'm going to make a different choice. It might not work the first time or the second time, but I promise you, with practice, this will work. So after we normalize it, the next step is noticing what happens in your body when you get that urge. Okay, what are what we call the somatic cues? Are your jaws clenched? Are you picking on your cuticles like I do? Are your shoulders tight? Do you have a certain feeling of heaviness in your chest or your belly? Notice what you feel, and notice what it feels like when you have that urge, and focusing on relaxing those physical sensations. Breathing is great here, or even going for a walk or doing something physical but simple. Sometimes doing the dishes or doing the laundry or doing push ups or putting a song on and dancing to it or moving your body gently to it is actually really, really helpful. Okay, so you normalize it, you notice what happens in your body, and you kind of like just work with what is happening in this with the somatic cues in your body, and seeing how you can actually what's the word, like discharge them. Okay, a somatic exercise that's really helpful here is a simple grounding technique of placing your hands over the area that needs extra love and support, and taking long inhales and long exhales until you feel more grounded, until you feel more relaxed. Okay, you're anchored now in the present. The third step is to nurture. Recognize that this urge is your body asking for a sense of safety and certainty. So instead of seeking a temporary sense of relief through buying, I ask my body, what is it really craving? Okay, so in my program, Empowered Spender, I'm going to go into detail on how to do this, but you can start now by implementing these four ends. So we talked about normalizing it, noticing what happens in your body, and then is to nurture it, putting your hand on your heart and asking your body, what is it that you need? Okay. The fourth step is to take note. So taking note it can look like journaling, and I'm going to give you some journaling prompts right now. So write them down. So, what are you feeling right now? What triggered this urge to splurge? What is this feeling? And it's okay if you don't know. That the key here is to get into the practice of going inwards, even if you don't get results straight away. And the next question is, what am I hoping that this purchase is going to give me? Then ask your body, what do you need right now? What would you like me to give you? Okay, what are you feeling right now? What triggered this feeling? What am I hoping this purchase will achieve? And then asking your body, what do you need right now? What can I give you? So, again, write these down and practice them. It'll take a while for this habit of going inwards instead of seeking relief from outside of us to take hold. But it might, like I said, it might not work the first, second, or third time. But the thing is, we are developing the habit of going inwards instead of outwards. Okay. Financial healing is a long game, my love. And the long game is to build an internal sense of safety that will only come with consistency, that will build the trust that is going to make you not need to shop to meet your core needs to feel safe and secure. And if you can only take away one tiny thing from this episode, it's this: pause before a reckless purchase. Remember that the real craving is to feel more secure, more in control, and often it's because you are joy deficient. What you buy will create a temporary relief, but nothing you buy will provide a true sense of security. Doom spending isn't about willpower or being bad with money. It's a nervous system strategy, a way of reaching for safety. But true security and agency don't come from purchasing things, they're built from the inside. They are built little by little as you meet your core needs over and over again and build that internal sense of safety. When your nervous system knows that not something from outside of you, can meet your core needs, that is when that internal sense of safety will start building. Because when you do, that internal sense of safety is, it's radical. It's going to change everything for you. Okay, safety is built through consistently meeting your core needs, building that self-trust. We have many core needs that can cause emotional spending. Needs like the need for stability, play, fulfillment, joy, recognition, and many more. When these needs are unmet or chronically unmet, we will resort to emotional spending. Anyway, Thank you for listening. I'm so happy that we spent this time together today. I'm very excited about my new program, Empowered Spender. I'm so excited, I'm stuttering. I'm very, very excited about it. I'm going to teach you more about meeting your core needs and how to use my root healing method, ROOT, to stop emotional spending so you can use your money to build stability and go on adventures, because that's what life's about. And this program is going to be ready in October. Put your name in the wait list, that is in the show notes. And when it comes to doom spending specifically, what I find at the core is a craving for certainty and security. So always remember, when you're reaching outside of you, go inwards instead. Next time you feel the urge, ask yourself, how can I create a sense of security for myself right now? So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. Love you and leave you. Until next time, take care.